All right, good morning and welcome to our channel Presidency. Once again, the 22nd of August 2025, and I want to drop a very vital information this morning that borders on two very important topics. Very important. The first is the presidency. We got a wind that the presidency pressures the IMF for swift action. And secondly, I would also dwell on the role of the IMF in the disbursement as related to the last debunking by the secretary to the Sanctuary World Multipurpose Foundation that they had nothing to do with IMF. I'm going to lay the cards and make sure that you get all of the schematics that you need to get going forward in expectation of this grant. This is Presidency. In case you're new, do subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out on vital updates. I want to take things a little bit slowly so that we get all of the vitals that are enshrined in this particular voice note. Now, fresh intelligence report reached us this morning that the presidency is mounting pressure, strong pressure for that matter, on the IMF officials to fast track the deployment of every necessary technical process that is required for the immediate disbursement of the UAS bank donor funds. Now, according to this report, instructions have been given from the very top urging the IMF to activate all channels and also clear every remaining bottleneck so that the funds can flow directly to the relevant accredited grant handlers, the NGOs, and eventually to the grassroots members. We are the beneficiaries now. If everything goes as planned, it is expected that this process should be concluded between now and next week unfailingly, and this marks actually a critical turning point in this long-awaited disbursement process under the UAAG program. Now, why is the presidency a kind of getting so much involved right now? You know that beneficiaries have long been waiting, and for several times, several delays have created doubts, confusions, and frustrations. So we may know. However, the renewed involvement of the presidency right now shows how important these donor funds are to the government's economic relief plans, and also how committed the authorities are to ensure swift execution of these funds. And by mounting, if this is truly so, we are yet to confirm this. We're still going to, in the coming days, we are going to really nip this at the board and see how, of course, after all, in the first place, that's what we needed, that our government also should be concerned with the plight of the masses. And I think the agenda of the government in poverty alleviation should also be put into fore, like they doing what is necessary so that the masses can get the relief funds that they needed, and also not just on their own side alone, as they wanted to share the 2.2 to 2.2 million Nigerians, the million of money amount. I can't remember the amount now that they intend to share to the less privileged in the society. But then we're talking about the US fund, which has international backing. They should also be involved in this, because the much more persons are liberated financially, the more stable the economy also would be. So by mounting the pressure on the IMF officials, the presidency signals its seriousness towards the poverty alleviation scheme, and the aim is to eliminate the technical delays and also speed up the release of funds from UAS and the World Bank. And this also means that we are closer than ever to the start of these real payments. Now, when we are talking about the UAS fund, you should know we are talking about international fund relief, and definitely we should be talking about the role of the IMF. There has been a lot of debate about whether the IMF is involved in this process or not. Some officials earlier denied the IMF's role, and even the secretary to Sanctuary Wealth publicly debunked any connection between the UAAG's fund and the IMF. But also, fresh insider information confirms that this denial was only a cover-up strategy. And the truth is straightforward. Now, the UAS fund, listen, the UAS donor funds are foreign donor funds. So you may know. The UAS funds that we are in expectation, which UAAG has partnered with to disburse, they are foreign donor funds. And whenever foreign donor funds are involved, the IMF oversight is inevitable and unavoidable. They have to be involved too. They must be present. IMF's role here is to technically vet, monitor, and also approve the funds release process before they hit the accredited handlers. So in other words, UAAG is disbursing the UAS funds. And because these funds originate from foreign donors or foreign donor institutions, the IMF must sign off the final deployment of this fund. So UAAG can't come out to debunk that they have no partnership or no dealing with IMF. Whose fund are you disbursing to the masses? It's not foreign donor funds. So any foreign donor funds must have an international foreign oversight with it. Their presence are quite sacrosanct and very important for transparency, equity, and fairness. Now, the major technical steps before the funds reach the beneficiaries, we could be talking about the approval of the IMF and the clearances. You know, the IMF must finalize its technical checks that ensures that the funds would meet every global compliance standards and the national integration protocols. They have to do that. They have to do that. Then this presidency-driven oversight that is coming right now, the presidency is taking direct oversight to ensure that there is no further delays, and instructions have been sent to expedite clearances and expedite quick action on how to fast-track the clearance protocols. You know, so the accredited handlers also access have to put into account once the IMF clears the process, funds will automatically be deployed to accredited grant handlers responsible for managing individual NGO disbursements. So the NGO level disbursement takes it up after handlers receive allocations. They will credit the partner NGOs, and these NGOs will then process direct payments to verified beneficiaries. Now, with these steps in motion, the chain is fully activated and running under strict timelines. I want you to understand that beneficiaries should know that going forward, they should be patient driven. While the process is being accelerated, and the wing of information we are getting is that there would be mass disbursement of this scale. And so it requires careful checks to prevent errors of any sort. So what you have to do is, there will be several updates, but do not rely on rumors or unverified information. Please, accredited NGOs will likely communicate the timelines, the payment batches or what have you, and the disbursement, the document confirmations if they have any to do. So, but you may also wonder why officials or the secretary to the Sanctuary Wealth earlier denied IMF's role in this process. I want to reveal certain things to you. Now, the reason is very simple. It's just about security and strategy. In case you don't know, it's just about security and strategy. Large-scale foreign donor funds, such as the UAS allocations are usually highly sensitive, very much sensitive. So any premature disclosures could expose the process to political interference, which we treated in the first submission I dropped just here. It could also expose the process to fraud attempts and international scrutiny. So the initial denial from the secretary to the Sanctuary Wealth Multipurpose Foundation was likely a protective measure to shield the process from unwanted attention while the technical negotiations with the IMF were still in motion, where they were still ongoing. And now, with the wing of information we got that the presidency is directly involved and timelines are, possibly going to be fixed in time, the real picture is becoming a little bit clearer. So the US funds and the UAG disbursement, there is a connection, is a core fact. The funds that's to be disbursed by UAG originated from the US donor allocations. And these allocations were secured as part of an international economic support initiative that is tied to the World Bank-backed frameworks for the masses. So because they are foreign donor inflows, both the IMF and the World Bank compliance protocols must be followed before the money lands in Nigeria and eventually into beneficiaries' accounts. All of this have to be put into account. So this process would ensure that the funds remain so clean, so transparent and secure while protecting all parties that are involved. So we are looking at, based on the wing of information we got this morning, between now next week, all things being equal, the IMF is expected to complete all the technical releases, accredited handlers to receive the official alerts and allocations immediately after clearance, and NGOs will then begin direct beneficiary disbursement in structured phases. If there are no unforeseen disruptions, beneficiaries should expect practical actions within days and not months. So the key takeaways that you are to sleep with, saying I need a pillow, is based on this information. We are still going to really kick into that to see the source. Though the name was not mentioned, there was no name attached to that. The presidency concerning, I'm talking about the presidency involvement right now. The presidency should be fully involved and pushing the IMF for speedy deployment in that wing of memo, and that the IMF clearance is very crucial because these are foreign donor funds, and the deniers, I'm just getting you to know the takeaways that you need to sleep on right now. The denials of IMF involvement were strategic cover-ups to cover the process or protect the process, and fund definitely will flow from the clearance of the IMF to accredited handlers, then to NGOs and the beneficiaries. So the window of expectation should still be before the month rolls out for completion, if all things goes smoothly. So finally, this is the closest the UAG disbursement process has been to completion. We've seen delays, we've seen contradictory statements, we've seen confusions, but if this is true, with the presidency now actively pushing the IMF and with technical clearance already in its final stages, the light at the end of the tunnel seems to be here. So what are you to do? Remain so patient. Wear the garment of patience, thanksgiving, and celebration. Also stay prayerful and be prepared. The time to celebrate is very, very near. This is Presidency. In case you are new, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on vital updates. As soon as we drop one for you, you catch one also. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very lovely day. It's a wonderful, wonderful Friday morning, and we thank the Lord for life. We would only celebrate, we would be alive to enjoy the dividends of these benefits. It will not meet us half dead. It will not meet us in the hospital. It will not meet us sickly. It will meet us hale and hearty, that you can use money to buy whatever you want, get whatever you need in a legal form. And so shall it be for us, in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you very much and have a nice day. God bless you.